Greetings and welcome back to Switched to Linux. Today we are asking the question, is this the end of passwords as we know it? Are they about to die? Are we going to have to all give our biometrics to the whole world? That's the questions we are going to be asking ourselves today. So how's everybody today? Let's see what we got going on over here. We got John Clyde. Greetings there. Dealing with a long Arctic's post-installation config and setup. Would love a distraction while my apps are downloading. All right, well, download them apps. Greetings, Loopy. How's it going there? Can Linux get keyloggers? Yes, Linux can indeed get some keyloggers. Okay, person one knew what they were doing. I mean, hey, you could always just run a Windows 10 virtual machine on the background on Linux. There you go, a keylogger running on Linux. Come on. Peabody, greetings there. I think the person who hacked my GitHub installed a keylogger on the PC. Well, you know, the good thing about Linux, just wipe the thing out and, you know. Paperbag Man, greetings. ADHD Gamer, hello there. Pizza, pizza. How's it going there, pizza, pizza? Everyone join me in saying pizza, pizza. Benjamin Eldridge, how's it going there? Alan Blake, hello there. How are you, sir? UK Beast 89, sup, yo. My calculus teacher used to make fun of people who go, sup. He like, sup, dude, right on the chalkboard. Kind of funny guy. Interesting dude. Paco, how's it going there? Paco, give me a taco. All right, Jody Alvo. I didn't say that right. Joa D. Olivero, greetings and meow to you as well. Arch survived Linux 5, all good. Uh-oh. I wonder if is my Arch on Linux 5 at this point in time? I don't know. Actually, I'm on an LTS kernel, so I'm not sure mine will be on Linux 5 or not. I have no idea. I don't know. Well, it wants more updates. Let's go ahead and run some updates. And then let me go ahead and pull up a... Do I have a terminal over here still? Good. Say what? Yes, well aware. Yes, commit. I go with uname. Yeah, I'm on 4.19.26. All right. So there you go. Yeah, I am running Arch on an LTS kernel. A little odd. Evil Step Twin, greetings. Passwords will be replaced by biometrics in 5 to 10 years. Hey, they might be replaced with biometrics in 5 to 10 months. Ooh, I don't know. I haven't tried YubiKey yet. Got one right here. We'll be talking about them later on. All right. Kitty has a heart shape on his side. Yes. He is. He's got so much love that he has a heart on his outside too. All right. AMD GPU driver 19 is out now with FreeSync and other goodies. Very cool. Ooh, Paco's going to send me a taco. Very cool. Oh, pizza's super sick. That's not good. Well, get well, pizza-loving nerd, and have yourself some tea. Analog, greetings. How's it going there? Sticking with default on Ubuntu for as long as possible. 4.15. Yeah, I think I'm still running 4.15 on this one here. Friends were picking on me for singing Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. Well, oh well. Greetings, Thomas Holt. How are you? Assault switched from Solus to Linux Mint now because programs were not available in Solus. Yes. Mint 19.1 has the 4.18 today, which is updated. I think it got 2 nights ago when it was in the Arch testing repo. Yes. Enjoyed the pfSense video yesterday. Well, thank you very much. I will look at what else I can do on pfSense. Analog, thank you very much for that super chat. I always appreciate being the best show on YouTube. Now we gotta go PewDiePie versus Switch to Linux. Who do you think will win? Anyway, I think he picks up about 10 times the amount of subscribers a day as I have, so I don't think that's gonna work. Really like fingerprint sensors. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those. Got them on my phone. I just don't use them. Where is my phone? Yeah, I got me a little fingerprint scanner back there. Never used it. Don't think I ever really will. Too much weirdness going on in the background. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump on over to my talk portion here. So I will be back back with the comments after we are done recording this. I'm going to go ahead and record this so we can have a more condensed version out at a later time. Is this the end of passwords? Well, there is a direction moving in that trend. And of course, a lot of your big Silicon Valley guys are really championing this idea that passwords are bad and we got to get rid of them. And they have been working with the W3C, who is, of course, the consortium for the internet. And unfortunately, it's mostly just a lot of big Silicon Valley companies pushing the web in directions they want to go. Now, is this good or is this bad? I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. So I'm going to kind of talk about this from a couple different directions. So as of this week, W3C and the FIDO Alliance finalize web standards for secure and passwordless logins. Okay, so what is a passwordless login? Well, this would be any type of login that utilizes some other factor other than a password to log into accounts. Of course, Microsoft was trying to do this with the Windows Hello, one of the creepy features that they put into Windows 10. Please wait, your PC is scanning you. Ugh. I don't want my PC to scan me, thank you very much. Of course, Brian Lunduke had that amazingly hilarious story one time where he was talking about he had the, was it the Xbox that had the Kinect up there, and he runs out of the shower really quick. The Kinect was in there and he's running through the bedroom naked, and the Kinect scans him apparently and makes some blinky thing, and the thing would never detect him again. So he's like, yeah, from that day forward, never had that Kinect turned back on again. You know, of course, they're talking about biometrics. We talked about Samsung is now experimenting with a face palm, which is the radically, like, these things started okay. Like, if you really want to talk about biometrics, the best is a fingerprint scanner, because especially on my phone here, you can pull this out, and if I actually use the fingerprint scanner, I could pull this out and unlock the phone with my finger, and by the time I get it out of my pocket and to my face, it is already unlocked. Versus the iPhone with the face scanner, you got to pull it out and you got to set it up here, and then it's going to unlock. Now with the Samsung, they want to do this, so you got to scan the palm. Just like, it's getting weird. And it's getting to the point where it's just like they're getting all of these technologies implemented in, and why didn't you just stop with the fingerprint? It actually had the least false positives and the fastest functionality. If opening the phone fast was really the point, they would have stopped there. But no, they keep on experimenting, because there's part of me that wants to grab my tinfoil hat because they want to collect as much biometrics as they can. Now, of course, the current marketing is that that information never leaves that device. Can we trust them in that? No. No, I don't think that these companies have necessarily demonstrated that they can be trusted with our private data, and that's why I keep as much data off of my devices as conceivably possible. All right, now biometrics is not the only way to do. The other thing is if you want to use a YubiKey. So I have a YubiKey here. So this is actually a first generation one. I've had my YubiKeys for a while. But this is a first generation one here, and basically it is a USB stick. It works with a USB type A. You slip this guy in there, and this provides a two-factor authentication on a physical device. Now, what this tends to produce for us is a good physical way that somebody would literally have to physically access that item. Now, again, with all of these technologies to make them more convenient, now they're making these keys that are so small, they're literally designed to be put and kept in your laptop. Which means if somebody comes by and steals your laptop, now they have the authentication for everything on the laptop. Well, that sounds like it's a step backwards in security. Additionally, somebody can come by and probably steal it out of your laptop, and you wouldn't notice until the next time you go to use it. Well, that seems like a step backwards as well. My biggest beef with these is that, now it doesn't interfere with me a lot because I generally don't use logged in accounts on outside things, but the biggest concern is I'll be out and I'll be like, okay, I need to access my email somewhere. So I go in and I pull up some webmail email because it's some my junk throwaway email. I'm looking for something, and they're like, oh, we don't recognize your login. We're going to send you something on another email. I don't have the information for that other email laying around, all right? I don't even know if that other email still exists, quite frankly. All right, I just put it on there because you required it. I know what the password is. I've never had a problem. I've never had an issue. And let's go ahead and leave it at that. So my biggest concern with these types of things, two-factor authentication of this sort, is that I literally have to carry this device around with me anywhere I go in the event I need it and it wants it, which basically means it is now a higher risk of getting stolen. So if I attach this to my keychain, this is very easy to see what it is. If somebody's scoping me out, if they get a chance to grab this off my keychain or grab the keys, now they've gotten in. Now, is it more secure to have physical things laying around? Probably. My chance of somebody coming in my house and stealing my keys to authenticate in is fairly small compared to somebody getting out there and trying to do a phishing attack or things like that. Especially since we're protected around this place with a 9mm, and you'd be lucky to get out alive. Okay, so that being said, there are major advantages and major disadvantages. I have a concern with anything that I come in, I enter the username, I enter the password, and that password that I enter, they're like, oh, well, everything's right, but we want another way to verify it's you. That frustrates me to no end because I may not be carrying these around with me for extra security. That's why I'm on the fence. Regardless, this is now a web standard, and it is now implemented into Google Chrome as of a while back. It's now implemented into Firefox as of, I think, version 61. Edge, yeah, and Safari, I guess that works now as well. Is it the Safari preview? I don't know. Safari is definitely the last one on the list. But what this allows organizations to do is utilize that same type of API that caused a big stink with things like your DRM API. So there's an API that's a standardized API that now can be used to link a some other type of factor, be it biometrics, be it a key like this, be it an NCF chip, whatever else it happens to be, to link that through the web browser into the account, which could, in theory, produce a better system. Now, all of this, to me, it sounds like more of a conspiratorial thing because, frankly, passwords aren't as bad as these guys want the passwords to be. It's just that we have been taught about passwords completely incorrect. So this was an interesting one from The Verge. So this password, JI32K7AU4A83, most systems would look at that and go, wow, well, maybe capitalize something, but otherwise very strong password. It actually is a surprisingly bad password because in the Taiwanese language, it actually says my password. And if you were to look at the Taiwanese keyboard, that's exactly what it is. Now, a password doesn't necessarily work by what the string of characters you see. It works by a hash of the string of characters you see. So as long as the hashes are similar, you usually can get into a system. And so this is, they're saying, is a really bad password simply because it translates into my password in Mandarin. So Carbon Programmer, are you on here? All right. Now, I didn't want to talk much more about that, but I wanted to look at this one here because this one here, you look at a lot of your different things about creating passwords and it's almost all the same. And it's like, I feel the same way as I do when some person sits here and tells me that I should have a carbohydrate-based diet for healthy, optimal living, which is nowhere remotely close to what the science says. All right. And so they're like, well, you got to have at least 8 characters. Use an uppercase and a lowercase and a number and a special character. Make sure it's completely unique and memorable. What am I? Am I Rain Man that I can remember a character password like that? Oh my Lord, people, this is crazy. This is crazy. No person outside of Rain Man can memorize 8+ characters of some uppercase, some lowercase, random strings with numbers and special characters that's unique to every site. So then they're like, just use a password manager instead. All right. So let's look at 7 myths about passwords. And this is actually funny because I was talking to a password security researcher at Penn State a couple years ago, and she kind of went through literally this entire list. I remember her talking about, wouldn't surprise me to know she consulted on this article. But, you know, they had that. And then the next really bad thing is change your password every 3 months. That actually makes your passwords infinitely worse. Do not be changing your passwords all the time. Only change your password if you happen to have a case where changing your password if you happen to have a case where you suspect it has been compromised. All right. So looking at this over, number 1, use a complex password gives you the best security. This is actually quite meaningless because a brute force attack goes through your passwords and it doesn't matter if it's simple or complex. What matters for brute force is the length. Now, of course, there's a little clip here from Edward Snowden talking about this. And of course, Edward Snowden's advice is, hey, no, we want to keep passwords, but not passwords. We want passphrases. An 8-character password, he says, only takes about a second for a modern computer to go through. So if you are familiar with Kali or Parrot, SecOp Linux distributions, you know that passwords can be cracked fairly simple. But if you increase that to 16 characters from 8, and it doesn't matter if it's all lowercase letters or if it's a whole string of bunch of different things, 16 characters is infinitely better. So while password makes a bad password, Bob would make a bad password, Bob and Sally would make a bad password, Bob and Sally going to the grocery store to pick up milk and eggs is a very good password. All right? Now, not everything allows you to use a space. Not everything allows you to use some types of special characters. But number 1, it doesn't matter how complex your password is. It matters how long your password is. All right, number 2, complexity more important than length. I guess I kind of talked about that one up here. Complex passwords give the best. So 1 and 2 are kind of tied in. I already talked about that. You want length over complexity. Because if you can remember a long sentence or a long phrase, that's way better than something else. All right, number 3, regular password changes improve security. The reason this is so abysmal, according to the security researcher I was talking about passwords, is that what ends up invariably happening is if your password is required to change every few months, you start using the same password and incrementing a character in it. And that decreases the security. And then it causes you to have it written down somewhere so you can remember. And, you know, and you get this kind of stuff going on. 2-factor authentication is foolproof. Okay, never, ever, 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 ever use a cell phone for a 2-factor authentication if you're talking about a standard SMS text message. Never use an SMS text message for a verification. It is raw text going all over the air that is extraordinarily easy to compromise. Someone can steal your phone very easily. Someone can access it and compromise it. This is why you need to never use that, okay? 2-factor authentication is not foolproof. Now, 2-factor authentication done right can be an okay thing outside of the things I was talking about earlier that it drives me crazy. When I'm out doing something, I need to log in, and it's like, we detect this is a little unusual. We need a factor authentication. Dude, no. Just let me into my stupid account, all right? And then, of course, there was that giant leak of all those SMSs that was leaked out, which was certainly problematic. There are authenticator apps, which are a lot better to use. So something like that is okay. You want to avoid an online password manager. Somebody left in the comments here, I saw breezing by. What about an offline password manager? An offline password manager, I think, is an okay thing. Especially some of your offline password managers can now be ultimately secured with one of these. Nextcloud can even be secured with one of these, I believe now, in the latest versions. All right. Your password is safe with large companies. Yeah, right. Biometrics will solve our security problems. No, and I think that, in my opinion, biometrics is the worst thing to use for passwords because it's too easy to spoof, too easy to fake, and completely impossible to change. Whereas my password, if it gets compromised, I can change that. And I think number 7, online password checkers are always accurate. Yeah, no. You're best going with the thing we talked about earlier, utilizing a long passkey. Now, going back to these companies, these points talking about the passwords are horribly insecure. I've watched several videos on the FIDO today, which is, I think it stands for Fast ID Online, I think is what FIDO stands for. And they're all like, passwords are bad, passwords are insecure. No, guys, passwords aren't bad, passwords aren't insecure. It's just some people are incompetent. And incompetent people are always going to be incompetent. It doesn't matter. Don't destroy the internet for the rest of us, forcing us to go away with passkeys, because a password or a passphrase, maybe we should use that. A passphrase is always better than some other weird thing that can be lost, stolen. Can't really hack this. Again, lost or stolen, or if I'm not carrying this around everywhere and I need to get into an account, man, that's the last thing I want is to be locked out. Versus a long passphrase, yeah, you have to worry about phishing, but these don't solve man in the middle, and they don't always solve phishing. They can, they do better. The best thing is, don't be incompetent when it comes to phishing. Understand what happens, what you need to do, what you need to have inside of your system to prevent phishing. Identify links. I question if this is really a legitimate thing. For me, I use so few online accounts, the phishing accounts are easy. Oh, Dropbox, reset your password. Yeah, I don't use Dropbox. I don't recommend Dropbox. I think they're a horrible company. I won't use them. You know, Microsoft, your security, I don't have a Microsoft account. Apple, I don't have an Apple account. You know, who else have I been getting lately? UPS account, I don't have a UPS account. It's very easy to not get phished when you don't actually have all these accounts. Now, what if you do have the accounts? Well, you need to learn to look for the signs of a phishing scam. Google has a really good phishing quiz that you can do. I did it on a live news once. So that's kind of an interesting thing. So keep in mind this, that the W3C is pushing the WebAuthn, which is more a drive behind the big companies. There are parts of this I really like. There are parts of this that I really don't. And this is one of these things that we need to keep in mind. One of these things that we really need to keep in mind with our world going forward is that there is no thing that's going to make it perfect. The best defense against a hacked account is being wise and knowledgeable yourself. Password managers, I think they're fine. Ultimately, you want passphrases that are very long. You don't want it to be so complex that it's not memorable. And if you are going to use these types of services, definitely I'd recommend using a YubiKey rather than biometrics. That's kind of my thoughts. And I'm really on the fence. I don't know if this is a great thing or if this is a horrible thing. So I have here, I'm dropping a link into the comments for you guys watching this live. That's a link in there to Amazon, to the various YubiKey products, so you can have a look at what is available as far as those. Some of these are NCF if you need it for a cell phone. Some of these are just basic USB. Some of these are interactive, things like that. So have a look at those and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this a great standard? Is this an awesome thing? Or is this kind of the end? What's your thoughts on passwords? Are they near the end? Do we need to do away with them? Is two-factor authentication as important as it is, or is it a better passphrase system we need? What are your thoughts? Carry on the discussion in the comments down below. All right, let's jump on back to our comments. Let's see who's talking here. Of course, I left a comment there, so let's see. All right. All right, Thomas, we will keep you in prayer, sir. Very awesome. Took a short look at Peppermint earlier. I like the ice apps. Yes, ice apps are pretty cool. Found out I'm lactose intolerant. Whenever I eat it, my nose won't stop running. Ooh. Can't eat pizza. No! Well, that's okay. You don't want to be a self-cannibal. I mean, you don't want to be like Pizza the Hut. You know, he locked himself in his car and ate himself to death. So, you know. Chinese phone has a fingerprint scanner on the back. Battery dies real fast with it on. Oh, boy. Love her tea so much we dumped it into Boston Harbor over tax. Yeah, yeah. I had pizza, in fact, for lunch today. Do you like tea at night? Okay, at work today there was a lecture on the future of computers, and the speaker claimed that modern OS is useless, especially the terminal and security modules. Yeah, sure. I have to manually update to 5. Well, I'm running Arch on my other computer over here, so which it's probably still on 419 since I have LTF on. All right. Yeah, bullcrap on pizza does not sound good. That's on package managers to be included in the kernel. Got the milk and sugar. All right. Stable where it won't update now. All right. WebAuthn seems like trash. Roll it up in the turd. Call it biometrics and two-factor authentication for SMS. Is it really called facepalm? Should be called facepalm. It's called, I don't know, palm scanner or something. I don't know. If I might have said facepalm, my apologies. Oh, well. I drink it with honey. Drink black coffee, too. Yeah. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of sugar. I eat ice. My ice cream has sugar. That's about it. Samson loves to experiment with on a sheep. Greetings, Snazzy Butterfly. How's it going there? One word on fingerprint scanners. Amputation. Yeah, that's it, man. What if you lose your finger? Sorry, I can't get in there. Tio have his English breakfast, which you don't like. Can't stand saccharin tea. Yeah, you shouldn't be. If you want to flavor your tea with something, man, flavor your tea with sugar. Opening a phone fast was the point. They would have stopped there. Yep. Nothing to hide, but I've never trusted my fingerprint to Google or whatever. Yep. Schedule and install Linux Mint 19.1 on a new computer. All right. Need English, late lunch, early dinner. There you go. Can Silicon Valley your finger? They want your whole hand later. I mean, that's it. I mean, Samsung was just not happy with just having the fingerprint scanner. Like, dude, we need the whole palm. Come on. Russian-owned tea house in town where I live. They got some good stuff in there. Ooh, are they very fast service? They're Russian. One-time password, hardware-based password tokens, aka YubiKey, and password managers. Yep. Never carry my phone with me anyway, so no need to put a pin on it. Mint tea is good if you're sick. Yeah, mint tea. For me, Librem key. I want to get the phone on the Librem key for purism. Tamper-evident BIOS, PureOS, all open source. Yep, I believe that's going to be delayed. I think I saw a note about that. Send a notification for the show and do not get it. YouTube, get your act together. Yeah, I know. Yep. So my cat seemed to always know when I'm sick because he likes you. I'm going to put it into us eventually. Metal at supersonic speeds does deter theft. Yes, indeed. 119 grain with green dot powder. Yeah, that is shotgun powder if you're curious. Phone does have a fingerprint sensor. I'll try face recognition. Did it before, but I'm afraid to get locked out. Yeah. Cats are the best. Yes, they are. In Sweden, you need a smartphone to use mass transit now, and I hate it. Yep, can't buy tickets anymore without it. That's the direction we're going. Cat has rejected me in favor of my fiancé. Oh, man. What if you're homeless? Yeah. SMS tickets, text message drawn from your bank, so I don't use sub anymore. That's frightening. That's very frightening. Anyone here knows anything of homelessness? Yeah. Well, I mean, pizza's down there in Seattle. That's, you know, there's a lot of homeless there. Okay. An interesting video about password cracking. Watch the older computer file video and you'll change all your passwords after that. Between my rocketU.txt and my other lists, crack nothing. Yeah. About an offline password manager. Greetings, Yu-Gi-Oh! How's it going there? What's the difference between ignorance and apathy? Apathy is definitely more willing. Ignorance, you just don't know what to look up. Apathy, you just don't care. Decade ago, CompTIA taught that one password for everything is better than different passwords for everything. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't use LastPass. That is an online password manager. That's not cool. If it works for you, go for it. Right, how fast GPUs are getting, passwords getting cracked, they're getting cracked much faster. Yet brute forcing random passwords are easy. You don't want to use a name or anything word in the dictionary. Bob and Sally passwords is terrible. They're real words. Doesn't matter how long your password is. So use a browser plugin to automatically put in your login stuff. Yeah. Even Google Authenticator, I find it hilarious when people put two-factor authentication on their email account and they both access and authenticate from the same phone. Yep. Using an online password checker. Now there's a smart move. Yep. What's up, kitty? Did you go change all your passwords? Did ya? Yeah, you change all your passwords? All right. Kitty changed all his passwords. All right. Authentication systems block access after 5 wrong password guesses. So many passwords are okay unless you use the same password for everything. Yep. Until you reboot, your password is in plain text in your NVRAM. You can scrape the memory easily if you already have access to the target machine. Yep. That's definitely an issue. Especially things like KDE has like a clipboard history. That's not good. Offline password managers suck because if you get a virus, your passwords are gone. Not if you have a backup strategy, sir. Have a good backup strategy. Yep, like Paperbag Man says. The fingerprint scanner is my passcode. It makes going on my phone in class much easier because I don't type in a code. Most people are incompetent in this space. Yep. And you're not going to solve it by making them do something else. Just not going to. So your passwords are offline. I can get into a phone with a piece of chewing gum or by lifting your print off your screen. Yep. Don't need to fish. Yep. People are a bit obsessed. Almost 25 years, I've never had a password stolen or hacked or a hacked account. Yeah. And that's the thing, you know. That's literally the thing. I have something else I could say about that, but I'm not going to. All right. Got a phishing email from XYZ Domains impersonating Amazon. Yeah, for sure, Amazon. Yeah, I'm going to enter my password here. Gotta mess with them. Give them something funny. This is Bob, and my password is 12345. All right. Keep passwords on encrypted flash drive. Never use autocomplete. Just use copy paste and make sure you clear your clipboard and reboot. Yep. No, I lost my place. All right, password managers meaning only offline. Ones like KeePass, that's what I use. Yep. All right, probably go crypto. KeePass XC is nice. I think KeePass XC now supports YubiKeys as well. Bitcoin wallet is greater than 40 characters and is stored in my head and in my safety deposit box at the bank. Yep. I don't find biometric passwords terrible. They aren't reliable and a single source to lock away your content. Yep. Save the file on a USB stick and put that in a drawer. I understand Facebook is going to end encryption. Oh, end-to-end encryption. No, I'd say Facebook is going to end encryption. That's better. Yeah. They're just doing it with their own encryption protocol so they can spy on everything that you do in between them. Biometric passwords are great supplementary passwords, but not to be relied on. Android uses Google prompts and wants people's phone number. Really bad iOS has activation lock with Apple ID. Passwords because they can't be stolen. Yep. So expensive, you mean? Like $20 is, I know some of them are expensive. Yeah, your wireless ones get more expensive. These ones, the ones that I use are like $25, $30. Ooh, there's a hard carrying case for it. I'm not sure if you said this, has got here, but phishing attacks can get past two-factor authentication. Yes. I think I touched on it briefly. I didn't actually say it much, but I touched on it briefly. Passwords aren't going away, though there are devices, droves of people that would have their security improved by one of those keys instead of just using the same password everywhere. Yep, absolutely. How you doing, Ricky? We are doing well. Does a fingerprint reader work in Linux? I believe it should. Depends on the device, I guess. Encrypt your drive with Lux. No one is getting in. Yeah, I have a lot of my backup stuff encrypted on Lux. Fail, and then we need an embedded chip. Yeah. Hire 2 gangsters and he'll give you anything you want. You can spoof biometrics, but not easily done. Yes, but the fact it can be spoofed means that the technology is getting better. Hi, Anna Rita. How's it going? NVIDIA proprietary drivers do not work with Linux 5.0 unless you manually patch it, which is complicated. Oh, really? That sucks. Some that do, and projects try to build drivers for others. All right. Soon you'll unlock your phone the same way you test your blood sugar for diabetes, a drop of blood. Super fast. That's right. You'll have to prick your finger to get into your phone. People will be dropping over dead in droves because of how much blood they're wasting unlocking their phone every day. Passwords for the win. WD book 10 terabyte came in today. Kitty, don't throw my camera off the desk. Leave my camera alone, Kitty. Okay. Greetings, Censored Tech. How's it going there? Biometrics always has a back door. People don't realize they may have been printed at birth. Next step is to chip people at birth and not tell the parents. Cat, don't throw my monitor off the table either. Cat's now knocking around the monitors. Jeez, Kitty. Jealous as my cat run away from me when I'm sick. Yeah. I tried OpenBSD. No, it just doesn't have as much support as I want, other than my router, which is pfSense. I heard San Francisco. Yeah, San Francisco is getting bad, though. Well, being semi-forced to switch to Linux full-time. Semi-forced? Uh-oh. How'd that happen? Greetings, Steve's very own. How's it going there? Does KeePass 2, does it work on Linux? I think so. I mean, I know KeePass X does. I don't know about KeePass 2. I don't know. I have to look into it. Yeah, KeePass X is the one on Linux. Zebedee Boss had a heck of a time getting in Google account back with a YubiKey glitch. Took 4 days. That's a serious problem. Got a network switch and 2 Ethernet cables. Once I get the 3rd Ethernet cable, I'm going to start doing open chats. Very cool. Let me know when you do them. KeePass 2 is paper and pen and a little black book. Yep, there you go. Kitty changes passwords, just let them wall on the keyboard. Then no one will know them, not even you. That's right. Kitty's the advanced password security cat. No, I lost my place again. There I am. Yay. Never really knew how insecure websites were until I learned proper password hashing and salting algorithms. Yep. Ancient Yahoo account was hacked in the Yahoo breach. Uh-oh. Two's non-Tom host file is his ladies no longer shows up. Yeah. Sorry about that. Someone got a phishing email and wrote a Python script to spam the phisher with the password. He ran the script for 24 hours. My dad panicked when I changed the mouse. Yeah. And that's why changing things around, that's why we're not going to solve the problem easily, you know. Saving for a new microphone, cool. Getting YubiKey when I get free money, yep. Use different passwords are good that I forget the password most of the time. I never do logins, yeah. Video about Ubuntu and Snap really shook things up. I still hear blogs ranting about it. That's good. Hey, you know what? They weren't causing any publicity for Linux, for Ubuntu 1904. Somebody had to do it, right? The funny thing is, nobody's actually watching the follow-up video, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, I mean, you got to look at the whole context of all of it. You know, don't blame me when your web properties are what causes the confusion. It's kind of hilarious, but that's good. We're getting a lot of discussion on it now. That's good. Kitty wants to take attention. Kicks the camera. Yep. Cat help. Everyone needs cat help. That's right. Put some bread and antifreeze out and you won't see him again. There you go. Yep. Ubuntu wanted to go in that direction. Ubuntu wants to be a platform, not a Linux distribution. Yeah, probably. I installed Antergos on my MacBook Air to test it out. So far, so good, except they must have changed something regarding KDE Wallet. No matter what I do, I can't auto log into any saved Wi-Fi. Huh. What kind of 9mm do you have? I have a Ruger LC9 and I have a High Point C9. Who needs to be forced to use Linux? Well, I guess logic, reason, speed are pretty compelling forces. See more about FreeBSD, check out RoboNoogi's channel. Do cats know what coughs are? I don't know. They might. Kitty, do you know what a cough is? Do you know what a cough is? Do you? Yeah. Kitty's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what a cough is. I'm just going to be here and be cute and knock the camera off the desk. Don't knock the camera off the desk, Kitty. Don't knock the camera off the desk. Where's my Obama money? I don't know. Father might hate your host file, but my mom loves it. Ubuntu devs say it's a rumor they aren't replacing apt. No, they're not replacing apt. They would like to, but I think that they will get too much for that. I'm going to buy Yubico at some point. I'm dropping my Gmail accounts, slow moving my stuff to other email stuff. S8 does not support Lineage yet. No. No, Samsung Galaxy S8, I think that does support Lineage, actually. If you're talking about the Samsung S8. I was considering buying one, but I decided not to. Check if your ancient accounts and recent ones are here, if you've been involved in data breaches. Yep. Clear as not complaining about needing to use Linux more or less about not being able to game. Yep. Let's see. Do I use Cloudflare? No. I do not like the company behind Cloudflare, so I generally do not use them. Gonna get a Glock 9mm when I can afford it. Had a 40 caliber, too much recoil. Yeah, it depends on the gun you have. So like, the Ruger has a little bit more recoil because it's a lighter gun. My C9 is a very heavy gun, so there's almost no recoil on it. It's not as good of a gun, but it's definitely it's a very accurate one. Looked at me and I was insane. I told him I wanted a gun as a housewarming gift. Nice. So 19 dropping grub loader on me every often when I get a fatal wine crash. Huh. Interesting. Confusion, I use Linux because I hate Windows. I sort of like Mac OS more than Linux, although Android blows iOS away. My Proton Mail asked me to save my password, and I said now it auto logs logins, but is that safe? If not, how to undo it? All right. I generally generally that's an okay thing. It's saving it just on your local browser config files. The nuclear option is wipe your config files in your home folder. But you should actually be able to go into your settings and into privacy and clear save passwords and check the box to never remember passwords and don't ask. So you can do it there on your regular device. I generally wouldn't have a problem with that as long as it's not a computer that's traveling around a lot. If it's like a home device that stays at home, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Let's see. Take the death of Ubuntu's if they ditch apps. Snap is okay for some things. The biggest problem with Snap is they're doing stupid things like theme files are installed in Snap. The calculator is installed with a Snap. That's insanity at its finest. Do I use Proton Mail? I have one Proton Mail account that I use with a throwaway Amazon account. I have a throwaway Amazon/Proton, and that's the only thing I use Proton Mail for. S9 has support if I check it last night. All right, maybe I had the wrong galaxy. I should have been in Andromeda. I was over in the Milky Way. Alan Pope in live chat that I came to Linux to get away from Microsoft. He was no-so on Big Daddy Linux last weekend. Yeah. Do you like mathematics, especially pure mathematics? I don't mind mathematics. I was actually telling my friend the other day, man, I'd love to have the time to sit down and bust out my old calculus book again and run some problems. I just don't have the time for it right now. Low recoil rounds. I load my ammo, so I can just back off my powder if I wanted. Do I have a gun? Yes. Confession, not confusion. Are you confessing to your confusion? Americans talk about guns, stereotypical. I'm a German, but I do actually think guns are something good. Depends on the use, yeah. Okay, Proton is compromised 2018. Never thought I'd see that happen, but it did. I haven't seen compelling evidence of that. There's people talking about, you know, they're utilizing a JavaScript model. Some people are saying that it's very insecure because of that. Some people are saying no, there's no issue with that. So I don't know. Verdict's still out. That's okay. Mac kernel has a bug that Google had to tell them about. It's a pretty new find. Doing a school project soon where I need to make a free website. They recommended I use Google Sites, but I'm allowed to use any program I want to. Huh. It's on the home laptop, never leaves home. Yep, I'd say it's fine. Would WordPress be a good option? Yeah, you can get a free account. It'll be like your username.wordpress.com for their free accounts. You have to pay if you want your own domain there. It's fairly cheap, I think. Last I knew anyway. I don't like building sites there. I personally wouldn't do it or put a client there, but for a free website, you could probably do that. Talking about guns now. Love the channel more every day. Yeah, I don't talk about guns a lot, but hey, it came up. Why not? You know. I do a video about how to reload, but yeah, that would definitely get the channel on the wrong radars, I think. He's now dreaming about safe authentication systems. No, I think he's dreaming about these irresistibles. When themes are snaps, then themes should work on snaps. Yeah. Do you recommend other than Cloudflare? I like that it offers some layers of security, including faster global delivery. There's a few other services out there. I would probably need to look into some other ones and see. I mean, it's probably would be the first thing I would probably go to if I had to use a system like it, because I know it works. I just not a fan of the company, so that's kind of my thought. I don't know. Should look at the Windows calculator, telemetry and open source software. Haven't read much, but it's at least something. Yep. FPS on the rounds, frames per second. What? Feet per second? Oh, you know what? I don't know. I use green dot powder just because I was able to find a bunch of powder right when the huge 9mm shortage. I actually, that year I was crisscrossing the country. The only place I was actually able to find 9mm ammo was actually Sacramento, California. I stopped by several different places, including like Cabela's home store. And then what I found is like it was easier to like I could always get primers from Cabela's. I could always get brass from a local store where I lived at the time. And I could always get slugs from, there were a couple places I could always get slugs from. And so just by traveling around the country, I was able to piece together all the things I needed to load ammo, but I could never find 9mm round. I ended up eventually finding 5 pounds of blue dot. Before I was able to find that, I was able to find some green dot. I was able to find a pound of green dot, which is now, of course, is mostly used for shotgun reloading. But I found some old recipes for basic pistol loading with green dot, so I went up buying with that. So it's actually significantly more powered than most rounds would be, and I'm using 115 grain rounds. So it's, you know, you'd get stopped pretty good. It's probably pretty fast, honestly, but I've never timed what it is or anything. All right. Flops per second. Nerf guns and water guns. Yep. Bitwarden is totally secure, right? Yeah, you know, I don't know. All right. Oh boy. Lost track. Where am I again? Okay. Angel Fire still around? I don't know. Distro DE does not do what I said above. Huh. Yeah. Cat is dreaming about the day I stopped talking about Linux and tech. Yeah, good luck. Girl's not watching. So shape and look and work good. Yep. All right. Just watching someone dump off a fully auto Glock 17 with 100 rounds. Is there a reason you don't use window managers? Just the learning curve to it. I have too many things going on right now to take the time to stop and learn how to use a Windows manager when there's desktop environments I like that work. Thoughts on Ubuntu Mate? I'm not a fan of Ubuntu Mate. I'm not a fan of the Mate desktop. I find that it's... I find it doesn't work as well as other desktops I use. And I thought maybe is it just Ubuntu, so I put it on Mint, and even that just didn't work well. So next time I need to redo that computer, I'm going to put Cinnamon on it instead. It's okay, but it's definitely not my favorite. As far as Ubuntu Mate, I was using that as my backup computer system, and it just did not work very well for me. So I switched to Linux Mint Mate instead. So I'm so-so on it. I think it has a good potential to be a good system for a lot of people. It's just, it doesn't work well for me. 5.0s on high points. I have a couple of them. Yeah, I have a high point C9. Green dot that weight lead bullet's probably about 1200-ish. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm using, I can't remember how much powder I'm actually using. 15 grains maybe? I think I'm using 15 grains of powder. Or 9, I forget. I'm not even going to try and remember. I have it written down somewhere for when I need to go and reload. Loopy's back. Greetings. Luke's Pac-Man vid. Everyone supports SwitchedtoLinux by liking the video. Thank you, man. Yes, like the video. We got 95 folks watching right now. Thanks, guys. I'll kind of keep going until we run out of comments. If you came on a little bit late, I will be releasing the shorter and condensed version of the main talk point. Suns is a good reloader source. Personally suggest something lighter than 124 and 9. Yeah, like I said, I'm using 115 is what I'm generally using. It's what we were able to find. Make a backup channel and call it Aboon Budgie. Starting browse for new laptop, considering a base model Oryx Pro. I'm not familiar with the Oryx Pros. Let me have a look at that. Tell you what, I have the absolute most success with on Linux is Dell and Lenovo's. Just work really well. Of course, your ThinkPads do, which is technically the same. Okay, that's System 76. Yeah, System 76 is very good. So System 76, that's you will not go wrong with that. Absolutely not. Guns and Linux, that's right. When's next Budgie desktop supposed to be out? I don't know. They had a little shakeup in the development systems, and so I think they're back to work again. Last video drove an OCD. Hey man, you have as many wires as I have, and find a better solution. That's very organized. There's just a lot of wires around here, man. All right. But next time I do a video, Anarita, I'm gonna throw in a bunch of extra wires that aren't connected to anything in a giant massive ball just for you. Try XFCE, but didn't like my hardware, so SwitchedtoLinux meant Cinnamon yet. Tom isn't a fan, but HP laptops work good. Yeah, I guess HPs work good. I won't ever recommend those. That company tried to screw me over one too many times, so I simply will never buy or recommend anything of theirs again. Speaking of people like not buying or recommending things, some company reached out to me and they're like, "Oh, we want to do a, you know, what would it cost to do a video on our service?" It's like a G Suite backup and restoration service. I'm like, if you actually watch my channel, I don't recommend people would use G Suite, so I'm not sure why you're sending me this email. It's like, no, I'm sorry. I do this for more than just money, you know. I'm not all about the money. I ain't all about the Benjamins, yo. But I am all about the Pentiums, though. New Lenovo has Optane. Everyone tell me not to install Linux. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Optane. Budgie and Solus is set to release this month. Okay, so I guess the new Budgie and Solus will be out this month. Cool. Information you provide, you have been helping me a lot. Very good. Well, you are welcome, Ahmed. G Suite, LOL. They must have gotten the wrong channel. Oh, they referenced my top 5 Linux distros for 2019. I guess they just didn't watch any of the other ones. Email from Indie Boost asking me to review their service for money. They thought it was a gaming channel. Oh, you'll get them, Pizza. You got about, what, 300-400 subs now? Yeah, you'll get them. You'll get them. Pinebook Pro with Manjaro seems to be a good, cheap laptop alternative. Yeah, I want to have a look at those again. Let's... I kind of want to replace... I still have a Windows Surface Pro 1 running. I like these small form factor light PCs. Now, I have a Lenovo... S21E, which it's not an ARM processor, but these guys here, so the Pinebooks, where's my web browser view? So here's your Pinebooks. So they're 64-bit ARM open source notebooks. So you get these ones here. These are your specs and dimensions. So you have 1.2 gig quad-core ARM processor, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of memory, upgradable to 64, wireless BGN plus Bluetooth 4, 2 USB 2 slot ports, a micro SD, DV port, headphone jack. Ooh, you know what though? There's no USB type, no USB 3s. Look at that amazing 0.3 megapixel front camera. That actually kind of sucks. The lack of the USB 3 is, to me, a little on the problematic side. It's like a Pi there. Let's have a look at what else we got at Pine. Yeah, so that might not be too bad to run. I'd be 50-50 on one of those. Now, if they had one where I could detach the screen and stuff, I'd like buy that in a heartbeat. Essentially, cache for HDD. If you have a big enough warframe, you can use is a regular SSD, but it's not meant for that. Is it like one of the hybrid drives, like your SSD HD hybrid drives? I don't know. I've not heard of that before. GNU Linux leaning too soft. Commercial industrial software developers. Most support software I earn a living with is depending on Windows, sometimes Mac. I mean, it depends on the company. Talk about Chromebooks and despise Google services. Yeah, yep. Hey, that's what happens if you watch only one video from somebody. You might think he's a raving lunatic who's lost his ever-loving mind and doesn't do any research before post. Oh, wait, hold on. You want to be a hacker, cold crack? Okay. Wait for pro version Pinebook. Oh, all right. I'll have to look at what's going on that. Waste some time with the chat room yackers. Yeah. Now, is it a Linux-based phone, or like Purism is doing, or is that or is it more an Android-based? Desktop, I like giant rig with jet fans. Laptop, I like compact. Yep. Yeah, spending $100 on a computer now without a USB Type 3 port, USB 3 port is like, what? Headphone jacks are becoming a luxury on smartphones. Yep. Have you polished your feed ramps or done any mods? What? Hacker Man. Is that from Kung Fury? See you later, also. PinePhone is Linux based. All right. Make my own phone. When Raspberry Pi releases the RISC open hardware, I'm making a phone. No doubt. There you go. All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and feed the kitty. Oh, kitty. Oh, kitty. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. We're going to get this kitty fed up. Come on, bud. You gotta jump. You gotta jump. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good boy. All right. Let's go ahead and feed the beast. Feed the beast. Oh, let me move this way. There you go. You can do it. Get it. Get it. Did you get it? You got it. You got one more. And let's do one for this camera right here. There you go. Yeah. Are they finger licking good? Nope, that's it, buddy. That's it. That's it. You want to hang out for a little bit? Do you want to hang out for a little bit, or are you going to run away because you're done with your treats? Is he a fair weather friend, or is he going to just run off? All right. Let's have a look at this guy here. Paste and go. Go to site. All right, so it's working on a Linux smartphone running Plasma. Well, that looks cool. So yeah, if that comes out and it's cheap, I might go ahead and pick me up one of them. Whoa, wrong button since the kitty's not up here anymore. There you are. All right, let's see. CJ's like, human, pick me up. My life is too busy. Pick me up soon. Gotta go. Well, we will see you later. My cat will attack you. My cat will lick you, but... Right, buddy? Yeah. And the iClone they used to sell in the mall was the Chinese wannabe iPhone. Actually said iClone on the box. I bet that was safe. Oh, yeah. It depends on the company. If industrial, commercial software... DBT word processing CAD simulation is not available for GNU Linux. What's the point in discussing hardware? Yeah, I mean, it's like, it depends on, like, you get your companies like Blackmagic Designs. They actually do, they do support Linux natively. Of course, they do sound and video production, very professional stuff. More often used in, you know, in television industry than Adobe or Apple products. So they're, of course, completely on board with Linux. Other ones like AutoCAD and Microsoft and Adobe are pretty much anti-Linux. So the question becomes, do you have to use their particular application, or can you get away with an alternative that does support native on Linux? And sometimes the answer to that is yes, and sometimes the answer to that is no. If you're no simply because you don't want to change or you don't want to adapt, well, I will disagree with you. If the answer is no, because there's a very tight, exact reason why, then yeah, you're going to be stuck on your old platform. Would I get a Pine phone for $300? I might get a Pine phone for $300, but I don't know. I'd have to look into it. Catch a new Joe Rogan podcast with Tim Pool and Jack Dorsey. I did not. I don't really watch Joe Rogan. I'm not really into watching a bunch of stoned out guys, to be perfectly honest. I saw a couple highlights of it, though. Disco Dingo logo's cool. All right. Look, Debbie uses Toy Story characters as well. Huh. Microsoft, Adobe, others against Linux? Yes. Greetings, Sleepy. You missed about all of it. We are wrapping up the last couple bits of the comments. You missed feeding the kitty. I will do a release of this, though, when we're done. Feed ramp is, well, what the bullet size up into. 1910 should be called Frazzled Falcon. Frazzled Falcon, there you go. No, they're on E next, though. That would have to be, oh yeah, oh no, wait, no, because Disco Dingo is Disco Dingo that's 4, so 1910's got to be E, so it'd be like 2004 would be the Frazzled Falcon, I guess. Not get a Pine phone when Moto G can be had for $230 to $250, yeah. VAT and import taxes, yeah. I need a Linux streaming media player too. What are you trying to do, Anarita? Like, what do you mean by streaming media player? Best talk is him and Elon Musk, yeah. $50 Boost mobile phone was UB ports or Lineage compatible. I'd be happy, yeah. They don't make a laptop that can keep me up. Certainly is a tool I use exclusively for mobile. Okay. Yeah, VLC can stream. I mean, depending on what you're doing as far as streaming, you know, Kodi, now that, of course, uses different streaming feeds. So you can play YouTube on Kodi. So if you have a Raspberry Pi connected to your dumb TV, you can actually send a YouTube video to that and play it directly on the system through your phone. Art student, our only choice is Adobe Photoshop. Not allowed to use anything else, which means paying for a subscription naturally. Yep. And that's why education is stupid. Education should realize that there's companies out there and there's software packages out there other than Photoshop that can be just as good. And in this very tight economy, it's best to teach them how to use the free and open source applications rather than tie them down and lock them down to paid software. That's kind of my thoughts. What do you guys think? All right. Well, I think we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. Stream media player. What is Android OS? No Raspberry Pi here in Canada. So no way to get it. I thought you should be able to get one up there in Canada. You could always, if you can find an old used Apple TV version 1, you can put Kodi on that, I think. I think OpenELEC can go on that. Kodi doesn't work well on their machine. That's a bummer. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We had 104 folks stop by today, 72 currently at the time we are ending this guy, 108 total minutes viewed with an average of 11 minutes and 33 seconds. I will have the shorter version of this posted up here later on this evening. Thanks for coming along, guys, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.